Hi guys, Beth here, aka Mediagirl94. Welcome back to the channel. If you haven't already checked out the title, August is coming to an end, which means you're getting another August manga haul. Ha ha ha! These are all the volumes that I picked up the month of August. I'm actually just looking now, there's only like 1 or 2 pickups and the rest are like brand new. So, you know, ha ha ha, I'm going to put it down because it's actually quite heavy. People sometimes go like, oh, manga, it's just picture books, but if you put like a bunch together on a pile, they can be heavy. But yeah, it's a manga haul. They're not exactly new here on YouTube or anywhere on the internet, but it just gives you guys a look into like my weird manga taste, because I am not fussy on genres. I will check out just about everything. So yeah, I'm actually really happy with like my haul. This month there are some new series. Like I said, there was only a couple of pickups, or there's like a series where I've watched the anime, and so I'm like, am I gonna collect the manga even if it's very expensive? Because money is a big deal. Manga can be expensive, but you can find cheap series where they kind of keep the prices low. Like I'm talking like $7.99. I think is the cheapest volume on the pile, and I want to say the most expensive, I'm going to say between 12 and 15. But I took the price tags off some of them, so I can't be too sure. Anyway, before we begin, if you'd like to support me and the channel in the future, you can by clicking like to show me some love. You can click subscribe and tap that bell to be notified when I upload on this channel. Enough rambling, let's just dive straight into my August manga haul. Like it's not even September, but we are going to start off with the 3 volumes of manga that are vampire related. You know, I'll probably have more volumes of these series like September, October, which will make more sense. But if you are not new to the channel, this is one of my pickups. But if you're new to the channel, I am obsessed with Seraph of the End. This is volume 29. I know as of recording this, volume 30 has come out, so that'll probably be in next month's haul. I am committed to buying this series. This is one of the series where it's like $8.99 a volume, but I'm pretty sure when I started collecting this volume, or like this series, like 29 or 28 volumes ago, I want to say it was like $6.99, $7.99. It got a price leap because it did get like an anime, which was kind of short-lived. But I have committed. It is one of the series that I want to complete, although I don't know how many volumes there are going to be, because apparently it is nowhere near ending. I'll have like a whole shelf dedicated to this series. It's going to be like another Fire Force, but it's a lot cheaper than Fire Force. But yeah, vampires. Pretty much humanity was wiped out, in brackets, by vampires. But then the humans are fighting back against vampires. There are 2 best friends. One is human. One was human. Spoiler alert, became a vampire. There was some drama in previous volumes. But you know, now they're just trying to carve their own path, and it's kind of like, who are the good guys? Are the vampires the good guys? Are the humans the good guys? Are the military the good guys? It is like a drama. This will take you through the motions. I love the relationship between, and the friendship between the 2 leads, because they were separated and then they were reunited. It's got a great supporting cast of characters, and you hate some of them, but you love some of them at the same time. So yeah, Seraph of the End. I highly recommend checking it out, although I would highly recommend maybe reading some volumes online before maybe committing to buying the physical, because like I said, volume 30 is already out, and it's nowhere near ending. My bank account is going to cry. Up next is volume 1 of Rossin Blood. Now this is actually a short series. I found out there are only 5 volumes, so you know, I'm actually really looking forward to picking up this whole series, because it's very rare nowadays to get volumes or series that are 10 volumes or less. This was also $7.99, so one of the cheaper mangas in this collection. I know that I can get it cheaper online, but I bought this in a shop, so that's why it was full price. I'll probably buy the other 4 online. But yeah, this was just like a random pick because I really liked the cover. And from reading the blurb, there is a girl, she has an accident and she wakes up in a gothic mansion surrounded by men. They let her stay as a maid, but they're vampires. Will she survive? But yeah, I know absolutely nothing about the plot. There's probably a love interest, there's probably a love triangle. But you know, you can't go wrong with vampires, and especially if it is a short series, it'll be really interesting to see if they can condense it into 5 volumes, because sometimes series do need more volumes, so I'll be impressed what they can do in 5 volumes. And the final vampire manga volume is Bloody Mary Volume 1. Pretty much you have a vampire. They want to die, but they can't die. And so they find an exorcist who is apparently destined to kill him, or has the power to kill him. However, this exorcist isn't at that stage yet. And so the vampire's like, cool, I'll be your bodyguard until you're able to kill me. No, literally, that's what I was told by a friend who recommended this, and I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued. And just like Ross and Blood, this is actually a short series. I believe there are only 10 volumes, and then the series is over, so, you know, I'm very interested. I thought this series, I'm going to be completely honest, when my friend recommended it, was older because of, like, the art style with, like, the characters. But then again, I saw it was 2014, which I guess at this point, 10 years, it might be considered old, but it's the art style that I fell in love with, and I'm just there, like, you can't go wrong with a shoujo beat. Apparently, though, like my housemate said, they don't sell it as like a BL, but there are undertones. So that's probably why she, like, recommended it. But also, vampires. Why not? Bloody Mary, I'm intrigued. Next up is 2 volumes of a brand new series that I know, again, absolutely nothing about. This was just like a random pickup. It is volumes 1 and 2 of Love in Sight. Okay, the premise. The cute girl with white hair. She's visually impaired. The guy with black hair has got like a mean, like, attitude. He's a bit of like a delinquent, but you know, he has a soft interior that she brings out, and I'm not sure if it's like I'm not sure if they fall in love, if there's a friendship. I just picked it up and I was like, oh, I'm kind of intrigued by the premise, because you don't normally get series, or I actually haven't read a series with like a main character who has like a disability. So it'll be interesting because I do know people who are visually impaired and who are blind, and so it'll be interesting the interactions, because I guess like he's gonna break down his like bad boy exterior for the girls, so I'm really intrigued. Again, this was $7.99 per volume, so on the cheaper end of the scale. You also can't go wrong with a bit of Viz. You also can't go wrong with like the character like artwork. Just these covers alone would probably sell me on the series before I read the blurb. But yeah, like I know absolutely nothing, so I got the first 2 volumes. I would always recommend, if you're checking out a brand new series, to at least check out either the first 2 volumes or the first 3 volumes, because usually like volume 1 is like the setup. Something happens in volume 2, and then there's like sometimes a twist in volume 3. So if you're checking out a brand new series, at least buy the first 2 to 3 volumes. The only reason I didn't buy volume 3 of this is because they had volumes 1, 2, 4, 5, and I was like, okay, tell me when you get number 3 in, because I am really intrigued with this premise. Up next is the first 2 volumes of a series where I have watched the anime on Netflix. It is My Happy Marriage, volumes 1 and volume 2. Now, these were on more of the expensive end. These were $11.99 per volume, and they're actually not that thick. So I'm not quite sure why they've got the price, but I will say the art style, and I just love the art style. And yeah, it was one of those, I checked out the anime and I was like, okay, maybe I'll check out the manga. I might not buy it physically for a while, or until like they drop the prices, or I can find like a cheaper bargain online. But pretty much you've got a girl, the lead, who comes from like a family who like bully her and treat her like a servant because she's not special, and so she's shipped off to be a potential bride for like a family, pretty much the guys, who are known as like, oh, they're a bit like dark, but then turns out they're very soft-hearted, and like she falls in love, or one of the brothers really likes her, but it's very hard because he's supposed to marry someone that's like special, who has like these powers, but she doesn't. Will they overcome it? Check out the anime if you've got Netflix, but if you want like a really cute slow burn, then this series is for you. But if you don't want a slow burn romance, then maybe don't check this out. But yeah, I am torn whether or not to keep buying the physical, just because I love how these look. I'm just not sold on the price. Next up, it wouldn't be my manga haul without some BL, and we have volumes 4 and volume 5 of Yari-chin Bitch Club. Yeah, I am obsessed with this series. For those of you who don't know, there's like a remote boarding school of all guys, and well, the protagonist, he decides to join the photography club. However, the photography club is kind of a facade because they sell sexual favors and services to the male people in the school. Just one problem: the main guy is a virgin, and so at this point he's trying to keep his virginity a secret, but he does have a crush on someone, and someone else has a crush on him, and there's just drama, there is laughs. It is such an eccentric cast of characters who are part of the club, who are part of the photography club, that you can't help but fall in love with their personalities. And as the volumes go on, like as you can see, they are still in their plastic wrap because I haven't actually started reading them. But I do know the premise of like what's going on in these 2 volumes, and I'll say this now. It's getting dramatic, people, so you know, if you want a BL that you know is definitely heavy on the BL but has a bit of drama and plot twists, then check out Yari-chin Bitch Club. How I Met My Soulmate Volume 1. This was actually a pickup because I watch quite a few like manga tubers. I'm on TikTok watching like the manga recommendations, and this series seemed to crop up, so you know, I thought, you know, I would check it out. The premise: you have a girl, she wants to find love, and like she goes clubbing with a friend, but then she bumps into a guy who's a little bit of a douchebag, but turns out he might not be such a douchebag. Apparently you can't judge a book by its cover. That's pretty much all you get from like volume 1, and I have read this and I am looking to pick up like future volumes. However, I'm not sure if it's a priority pickup, but it is well written. I like the characters, I like where I believe the story is going. However, I'm not sure if there's going to be a twist in future volumes, but I do like the whole premise. Don't judge a book by its cover, because I will hold my hands up now and say that I have done that. Especially with online dating, I have judged people, and then we've actually gone out, and I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, I was wrong about you. But yeah, this was a recommendation I found online. And the final 2 volumes in my manga haul this month, I'm not actually quite sure why I bought. One of them was definitely like an impulse because it intrigued me, and actually no, the second one was probably also like an impulse buy. But the first one is I Want You to Make Me Beautiful. Now, I thought this was going to be like an omnibus, but it's saying on the front this is the complete manga collection, so I'm actually not sure if this is just like 1 volume and the whole story. If it is, then, you know, props to them, because I have read like 1 volume series. Not really a series if there's only 1 volume, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. And pretty much the premise of this is the girl, she gets dumped, and the guy pretty much is like, you're ugly, that's why I dumped you. And then she reunites with like a guy from like school. Yeah. An androgynous man whose gorgeous appearance is sharp contrast from the boyish classmate she remembers, and pretty much she asks him to make her over, and they end up fake dating. But can a beautiful romance blossom from this fake relationship? I literally just read the blurb on the back, so yeah, I didn't really do much research about this, if it is just a one-off. But you know, I was intrigued because I always like a good makeover, and like when I watch like my reality TV. So you know, let's see what happens. And fake relationships in manga, they are a cute trope that sometimes can be overused, and you kind of think, ugh, why are the two characters doing this? But it'll be interesting. I haven't read it, what the interactions are like between these two, but this was definitely an impulse buy. Before I go on to the last piece of manga that I bought, this was definitely an impulse buy. It cost like 20 quid. So I'm not sure if I'm getting value for money if it is a collect, but yeah, this is probably the most expensive volume in this haul this month. 20 quid. Thank God I have a job. Otherwise, I would not be able to afford this. Anyway, moving on to the final volume of manga that I bought the month of August. And the final piece of volume, again, like the last one, was an impulse buy. It is Marmalade Boy Collector's Edition Volume 1. And apparently this is a newly translated edition of the shoujo manga classic which inspired an anime. I've heard of the anime, I haven't checked it out. I just thought this was like a really cute cover. I am a sucker, you know, just give me some nice artwork and like character arc, and you know, like I'm all for it. But yeah, I know absolutely nothing about this series. However, I have seen quite a few people online go, oh, it is really good. So if people online like it, I thought, why don't I check it out? But yeah, from what I'm reading on the blurb, you have Miki, who I'm guessing is the girl. Her parents told her they are swapping spouses with another couple, and she ends up with two step-parents and a hot new step-brother, Yu. Apparently though, Yu is a bit of a jerk. Can Miki sort out her complicated feelings for him and come to terms with her new family? If it's your stepbrother, does it count as a bit of maybe potential incest? I'm not quite sure, because you're technically not related, but then you're not blood related. Well, like it says on the blurb, it's complicated, and yeah, I just thought, hey ho, why not? Especially if it's like a reprint, because sometimes you do get older like series which, when they go out of print, it is so hard to come across a copy. So if this is like a reprint and they're pretty much being like, here's a collector's edition, like the ultimate edition, then that's really good. And there are definitely some mangas who definitely deserve like a republish or like a rebranding, because they are lost to time and the volumes are very expensive. But yeah, Marmalade Boy, probably the biggest impulse buy of the month, but who knows, I might like it, I might not like it. I don't have to buy any more volumes if I don't like volume 1. That is the joy of manga. If you don't like it, you can just stop buying it. But it's kind of hard, because once you start collecting, it's very hard to stop. Anyway, that just wraps up my August manga haul. I hope you guys learned something about me and, well, my varied taste in manga. If you have any recommendations for me, manga, anime-wise, comments is the place to go. I'm not so fussy about my genres. Also share some of your favourite manga series. Let's start a conversation. But let's just wrap up this video before I continue to ramble. If you'd like to support me and the channel in the future, you can by clicking a like to show me some love. You can click subscribe and tap that bell to be notified when I upload on this channel. At the end of this video, you can check out my last 2 videos or playlist depending on what mood I'm in when I'm editing this. Until next time, I'm Beth, Mediagirl94. Goodbye.